now. Okay. Remember I told you we left quickly, brother, burn the ships, all that. Because I am the kind of brother that's about going to get it. You understand me? Going to get it. I'm not 25 and got time to waste and all. I don't have that. I got two babies. Man, these babies. I'm gonna show you guys some pictures of them. I got kids. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world. Whatever time of the day this message finds you, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And yes, I am talking to each and every one of you all over the world. How you doing? My name is Thomas, and the name of this channel is The African Times. On this channel, I'm going to share with you my experience escaping America, moving from America and living in Africa. I'm going to give you this information as openly and as honestly as I can, because there are some of you out there who are thinking about making your escape from making your move, your relocation from Europe or America. And so I want to give you the best information that I can to help you make an informed decision to plan your escape, to plan your relocation. So let me just tell you, you know now what the focus of the channel is, but we're also going to have some wonderful segments that talk about issues affecting our lives, like the lives of our children, the lives of their children, our posterity. We're going to talk about these areas, and we like to consider them the areas of people activity. And we'll go into more detail about those areas in later broadcasts. But for now, the main focus is to give you that information about my experience moving from America and living in Africa. So, having said that, let's get started. I'm gonna put these glasses on so I can see you. You can see me, right? Oh, there you go. Now I can see you. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna start out first with leaving America. We did pretty much what everybody did. We did some research as best we could, knowing that we weren't actually in the location of the places we were thinking about going. So we used social media. We looked at a lot of interviews by YouTubers who were there, and we tried to kind of get YouTubers who gave us positive things. We looked at that information, but we also wanted to look at YouTubers who gave us negative information. We also tried to YouTube the government officials in the different places we were thinking about going to get a feel of the political climate, how people in the place where we were thinking about going, how they were functioning during this time of the sea, the stuff that's going around. So we did that. Let me see. We YouTubed the other people, like the government officials. I mentioned those. We YouTubed the people, the YouTubers who were there. We also YouTubed people who had left and tried to get the reasons why they left. And we also YouTubed like different news networks, the standard ones here, where in America with the CNN, the MSNBC, and so forth. We YouTubed those interviews that they would do with whatever information we could find about the place that we were thinking about going. And then let's see what else. that pretty much covers the YouTube. I'll give you some news networks. No plug to any of them, but Al Jazeera, I think that's how you say it, Al Jazeera, the BBC, CNN, MSNBC, and Al Jazeera, for those who don't know, it's an Arabic type station, and BBC, British Broadcasting Company, I think is what that is. And you guys can check all that out. Just trying to give you the information. And then obviously CNN and MSNBC and so forth. And we looked at these different news companies and to get an insight of what that particular group, culture, whether it's the Americans, the British, the Arabs, what have you, Chinese, what they were saying about the country. Also the government officials in the country, as I mentioned earlier. And that way we could compare and contrast, try to weed out the propaganda, right? And so let's see, after that, we did Google searches to read articles written by many of the people we just talked about to get a feel. Sometimes in writing, when it's a written subject, you get a little bit more detailed information, a little bit more objective information too, without all of the glitz and glamour and the shock value that they put on the television or those types of media that's visual. So we read a lot of Google searches on that to get a feel what crime was like, what life was like, whether it was real or made up. And then we actually went to the government of the places we were going to go, because you can go there. A few of the places that we went, you go to the government website and they would have a link, and you click English and it would change all the information to English. And so we did that and read about what the policies were, what the costs were, what things you may have to do to, if you wanted to become a citizen, what you would have to do. If you wanted a long-term visa or what are the passport requirements, all of that type of stuff. Everything that we thought might impact us, we went ahead and looked directly at the government sites and gathered as much information as we can. So I recommend you do that because it's very helpful. I printed out a lot of this stuff just so I could have it and read it. So having done all of that as best we could, and again, we were trying to get away, right? So we got as much as we could, and at that point we narrowed it down to 3 choices: Gambia, Tanzania, or Uganda. And Uganda quickly was a no because of like the restrictions that they had because of this spooky sea thing that's going around, right? So they had some restrictions and curfews, and they're rather strict. And Uganda's a nice place. I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. I haven't been there yet. I'm close neighboring to where we are now, but and I think it might be nice. I kind of like it, but that's a bit much. It's one of the reasons why we left America, right? So then that left us with Tanzania and Gambia. Now Gambia is really, really nice, and it's still in play. And look up Wikipedia Gambia. But what we liked about Tanzania was President Magufuli, the stance that he took with, the whole sea thing, the protectionist way that he looked out for his people and the other people, us, children. So we decided that we were going to have to go there. because there's freedom, no restriction. And so we came here. But again, Gambia is still in play, because Gambia, I think, from what I dug in a little bit there, you know, cost-wise, it's pretty, it's pretty affordable. Like, you can do it, you can survive. And remember, I'm talking about survival. Frankly, I'm just too old to sit back and be playing games the rest of my life and the lives of my children. And when I say I'm too old, if you're 21, if you're 16, you're too old. You gotta get serious because of what we're facing. But we'll get more into that. Don't get me on that soapbox. So we're gonna talk about those things. All right. So what we ended up doing is we packed up. We made the decision. We wanted to get out before they started. Like, we're from America, so wanted to get out before they started closing the borders, shutting down planes, requiring you to do certain things if you're gonna fly on the plane. Fortunately, we had our instinct caused us to get out, to move quickly, because many of those things are happening now. So we sold everything, gave everything away that we didn't sell, because for me, there was no returning. No, that was it. Alright. So it reminds me of a story. I don't know the details of the story, so anybody who knows the story, just you know it. I'm gonna describe it as best I can remember it, but it went something like, there was a general, and he had his army, his soldiers with him, and they were going to attack another army. But this army that they were going to attack vastly outnumbered them. I mean, it was just vastly outnumbered. He was coming in on ships, boats, ships. And so he told the men to leave the boat, go on land, because we're getting ready to fight this battle against this large army that vastly outnumbered them. So the guys left the ship, they got on the army, and they were like, General turned to him and said, okay, look, I want everybody, all y'all turn around and look at those ships. And the ships were on fire. And the soldiers were like, what are you doing? Why are the ships on fire? He's like, well, let me tell you, that army that we have to attack, they vastly outnumbered, and there's only one way that we're walking off this land alive. We're gonna have to fight and win, because those ships there, no return, no retreat. He had those ships burned. So it was with that kind of determination, with that kind of attitude, that we left everything to protect my children, my wife, and myself. Okay, so I don't want to play games with that part, because we're still in that stage now, survival. And we'll get more into that though. Alright, now let me get to go. Alright, so that's what we ended up doing. And again, we left pretty quickly to get out. So we're out. Now let's talk a little bit about our arrival here. So we arrived in Tanzania December 3rd, 2020. And we stayed in a hotel for about 40 days. The plan was only to stay there, 3 weeks maybe, 30 days tops. Part of it as just a vacation, to kind of relax from the intense lifestyle that exists over there with the W's. And during that 3 weeks, 30 days, we were going out every day looking for a place to rent. And that presented some challenges because here the people know that you're coming from America or Europe or wherever you're coming from over that they call the West, the W's. They know that you're coming, so they think that you have a lot of money, and so they raise the prices on many things, and housing is one of them, rent. So, but we were able to find a place, and we got out, like I said, about 40 days, and then we moved into the place. I think we did, the first rental was 6 months here. What they require in Tanzania, at least in Dar es Salaam where we are, is that you have to pay, they like 6 months in advance. We've heard about some 3 months in advance, but I haven't seen that. It hadn't happened to me. I don't know if that would be something that would be for Tanzanian residents or citizens, that they may get that opportunity to do 3 months. But for me, everyone that I went to was 6 months. Some of them were even like they wanted a year. So we found a place, moved there, and within 3 months, we knew we couldn't stay. It was just too high, number one, but the people, the landlords, they weren't, let's just say they weren't ethically and morally upstanding people. It was really just about money with them. So they overcharged us, and we knew it. No big deal, because we knew we had to find another place. So we used that 6 month period to look for another place, but also learn the people, the town, the areas, different places that we thought might suit us. So after that, we moved out and we found another place, and so we're comfortable there. Now, during that 3 month or the 6 month period at that first house, I'm going to talk to you now a little bit about our plan. Remember, I told you we got here in the hotel. We were staying in the hotel for like 30 days. Well, our plan, it was a year plan, short-term plan, was that first year to get here, get established with a place to live and stay, and then take a relaxing 1 year kind of off vacation a little bit and just relax. But during the year, be researching, investigating what kind of business we wanted to start initially. And the reason I say initially is because we had a business plan. Like, we wanted to come here and build apartments and houses and do that and help the people, not come and enrich ourselves, but put together some kind of benefit for the people, as well as allow us to have a business that would take care of us and support us and allow us to live here and stay. So, but we started to research that, and we found a good business. It was a business that can start right away, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But we determined that initial business that we would start would be one that helped the people and brought us a little money. And so we went into transportation, and I'm going to give you guys some video on that, some pictures on that a little later on. And so it's pretty good. We'll explain to you more, but that was a part of our initial plan, was to get a quick business going. You can do laundromats, you can do a variety of things here, because here it's not really a franchising type place. It's kind of like subsistence, where the people, they get a business to take care of their family, and that's pretty much it. We're a little bit more ambitious than that. We want to employ many people, help families. So our first year, as I said, was just to get here, get an initial business going, so that we can do our mid-range plan, which would start in year 2. Meaning, first year, like I said, take a break, rest, kind of get it together, and then be developing that initial business. And that's what we did. this is month 9, okay? And in month 9, we have 9 units active. I'll talk to you more about that. 9 transport units. We have, the goal is to have 15. We got a little bit behind because we had some other issues. I'm going to talk to you also about that later. But we got a total of 24 units. And by the year's end, we want all 24 units out actively driving. So that is our short-term plan. And that'll put us in a position so that we can start year 2. And year 2 is where we begin to implement the business that we want, that gives us an apartment, things of that nature, and then allows us to build our own place too. If this is the place to stay, and we're going to talk more about that, but this is so far what has happened. And so now, we're here. Phase 1, initial business is up and running, successful so far. The apartments and to build our own home, that's what's going to be coming next. So I'm going to share that with you. That should be around year 2. So we've got about 4 or 5 months. Now, okay, remember I told you we left quickly, abruptly, burn ships, all that. Because I am the kind of brother that's about going to get it. You understand me? Going to get it. I'm not 25 and got time to waste, and I don't have that. I got 2 babies. I'm gonna show you guys some pictures of them. I got kids, so I have to make sure that before I leave this earth that there is some business that is here for them so that they can enjoy free. They can enjoy that. So that's what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm a brother that's about to get it. So the transport business is right now. Short-term goal, 25 units by the end of the year. And by the end of the year, I mean, we really wanted it by October, and then by October to start working towards building more than 25 units. But we'll get there because we had a little mishap, and we had to get that worked out. Now, the next part, and this is really exciting. I'm going to share more and more with you guys about this, but remember, I can't roll out all the plans out on social media. You can't do that. But those of you that follow, you're going to see, because what we're talking about is an ambitious endeavor, but it can be done. So right now, like I said, we got 25 units. We're going to start developing an app, which is challenging here because here in this kind of business, cash, the vast majority of the people that we would serve, personal transport, taking the person from A to B, from the house to wherever they want to go, grocery store, to work, to the hospital, wherever we would take them, right? They pay in cash, no credit card, no debit card, none of that. Not for the vast majority of the people. So they have that. It's got to be a cash business. But you also need to grow. Now, just kind of wet your whistle a little bit, kind of crack your mind open, then you can use your imagination. Uber is here. So is Bolt. For those of you who know what those companies are, the transportation companies, you go on an app, you put your destination in or whatever, and they can tell you the price, and then somebody will show up and pick you up and take you where you want to go. All right. They're pretty sizable companies, but they're from the W's. They're from the West. So one of the things that we have to do, and again, this is kind of like people activity, and I'm going to go into more detail about it, but just to kind of give you an idea. Very ambitious goals. Very ambitious. Very ambitious goals. So we want 50 units March, okay? And that's 3 months behind, because in 2022 we wanted another 50. So at the end of 2022 we wanted 100 units, okay? And the app we want to be developed and have an initial rollout, so that we can kind of tailor it, see how it works, work out the bugs, kinks, get people familiar with it. So there'll be a marketing campaign, advertising campaign, and a strategy to introduce it to the public, educate them on the benefits of coming with us. And I'm going to tell you, when I'm saying us, it's just not me, but I'm going to give you the name of the company and all that stuff that's coming, give you an idea. All right, so now, like I said, we should have 50 units to go by March 2022. At the end of 2022, we want to have 100 units. All right. So that's pretty much would be the completion of phase one. Remember I told you kind of short term, 1 year to get here, get an initial business going. Once we get into 2022 and we have that initial target of 50 units, then we can begin that phase of, that I talked to you about, with the apartment buildings and some home development, not personal home too, because we have to live. But that would have allowed us to be able to determine whether or not this is a place that we can stay. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that, because one of the things here in Tanzania, you have to have a work permit, a resident permit to be able to stay here. And it's pretty challenging. Still kind of working on that. So I don't want to say anything or do anything to interfere with that or jeopardize that. But now you guys have an idea, okay? Now, you will notice that the title said truth or death. Truth or death. Let me just talk to you a little bit about that. The pursuit of truth for me in my life involves those areas, people, activity, and truth about purpose for being alive, and then being able to translate that information into tangible results that will be used to take care of my children. And also, when I say 25 units, 50 units, those are 50 families that will be taken care of by a transportation unit. And those families become my family, my extended family. So the truth is whatever it takes and whatever is necessary to learn, lifelong learning until death, so that we can accomplish those goals. Okay? That's what truth and death is. There's nothing else to do. I have no other reason to be alive. Okay? Purpose for man. Purpose. So I'm going to pursue the truth, and I'm going to do it until death for my children, my wife, for you, and your children, your children's children, and our posterity. So let me just show you. You're going to see me do this. United, unbreakable, unstoppable. United, unbreakable, unstoppable. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that later on, okay? UA, 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 UA. All right, didn't mean to keep you as long as I did. Again, we're going to get into more detail. This is just a general overview, first broadcast to let you know it's coming. We won't stop until death. Now, there's a subscribe button that says like and subscribe. Now this is all kind of new for me, so hang in there with me as we go along. But just so that you know, remember, I told you survive. So I'm not like and subscribe, okay? That's if you like and you subscribe. But we're gonna give you some more information. It's gonna be pretty nice, especially I think you're gonna enjoy the segments. I haven't titled the segment yet that deals with the areas of people activity, but it's coming. So before I let you go, remember, like and subscribe. Now you're gonna hear me because from this point forward, I'm gonna be saying like and hit that survival button. You can use your own imagination to know what I mean. Like and hit that survival button. Just one more other disclaimer, because I can put it that way. I don't have to kind of re-edit or anything like that. Hey, listen, I don't have time for any negativity. I don't have any time for that. If anybody has any negative things to say, comments on it, listen, I don't even have time to read that stuff out. So you could put it if you like. I won't be responding to any of that. I don't have time for that. And because my life is too short and I'm older, I don't have time. I have to focus all my life's energy on being positive and productive and tangible and what can be done to help our posterity. I am not messing around with that. The other thing is, many times I remember coming from America and as I developed and learned, you got all kinds of terms for conscious, wake, whatever you choose. But certainly getting more information so that once you recognize that much of what we've been told in all areas of people activity has been misinformation to maintain a particular social order, particular economic order, particular political order, educational order, scientific order, okay, health, medical order. So once I got wind of that and then began to have discussions with men, I found that many people, and I didn't want to be this way. I'm really not this kind of way. I don't have an ego like that. What I'm about is protecting our families and our children and our future and our posterity till death. Okay. What I found is that many people, they get into ego things where who knows the most and who, what I know this, I know that. No. Listen, let me be clear. I think it's great that we are learning. I think one of the things Professor Griff said, I thought was pretty enlightening. He said, every blade of grass doesn't grow the same speed. Okay, so my point is, I don't have time to sit back and be engaging in conversation about who knows the most and I don't have time for that. Share information with me. I don't even have time for continued complaining about what's being done to us. If it's being talked about for educational purposes to help us develop some means to stop it, some means to change it, some means to alter the future of it so that our children won't be subject to the same victimization that we have. then I'm for having that kind of discussion. But how you can tell if the discussion is leading to that kind of activity, that kind of tangible result that changes it, is you should hear some possible solutions being thrown out. If all we're doing is sitting back talking about what they're doing some, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it, and this is what, but no solutions, I'm not interested in that conversation. So the negative stuff, I won't be reading. Now, if you want to present something to me, and just like I'm presenting you, I don't know the answers. No, I'm searching, like I said, truth till death. But if you're going to present something to me about what they're doing to us, or what's going on, and you better be giving me a minimum of 5 possible solutions to change it, to alter it, so that our children and our children's children and our future are not subject to the victimization that these people put on us. So, didn't mean to get into all that, but kinda I did. Okay. Oh man, alright. So okay guys. Let me put these on, these glasses. I'll tell you about these later. Alright. Thank you. I look forward to interacting with you. I look forward to learning with you. Look forward to living with you. And protecting our children's future. And the future of our children's children, and our posterity. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay? Hit that like button and hit that survival button. Alright. You guys take care. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, brothers and sisters. All over the world, whichever part of the day, whatever time of the day this message finds you. I'm Thomas. The name of this channel is The African Times. Come back and see us. Have a good night. They can enjoy that. So that's what I'm doing.